Alright, in this lovely box we have a reasonably rare option. Don't get many of these in. It's a VanMoof, I think they call it a power bank. That's all that's in the box. It is. It's like a range extender for the VanMoof batteries, and what it does is it sits in the frame. There you go. In the bottom of the triangle. This lead here sort of extends the range on the bike, and that plugs into the bike somewhere. It's all pretty cool. Unfortunately, the lead looks like that, which is not ideal. No idea how you open it, never seen one before. There's the model number there. So it's a VanMoof S3 and X3 power bank, 10 INR 633, rechargeable lithium ion battery pack, 36 volt, 378 watt hours, 10.5 amp hours, rated at 10.2 amp hours. Don't know what cells are in there, but all very interesting. You remove this. It's one of those. A rubber chunk sits on there, quite nice. You're supposed to remove this from an X frame. There's no screws I've got to undo to get them out. There are some kind of Torx looking things. What are you? You'll work. Handy Bosch screwdriver. Oh yeah, barely even in there they are. Well, just two of those by the looks of it. Oh, very well fitted, these things. I hope so, stops it rattling around on the bike. Right, and 4. And this is just to give us access to this cable, which seems to run in there. Oh, can already tell that that's going to be really fun to put back in. Yay. The cable runs in this little slot up here. This is like that. Cable goes in it. Then there's this outer plastic shell, which seems to be over the actual battery pack itself. Quite interesting. To get a bit more access, I think we are going to take this off. There's a cable tie here, which is obviously for strain relief, I think, by the looks of it. But I want to be disconnecting these from the inside of the pack, because that's going to spark at me in some kind of unpleasant way, I'm sure. 2 screws here. Let's get them out. These are a different size to the ones that hold the little rubber pieces on. Clips along the top. There's a little, oh, there it goes. There's a little power button there for turning it on and off. I probably shouldn't have turned that on. See if we can turn that off. Hopefully you hold it down. That seems to be off. That be its charge port there. How do you turn it off? Is that off? Please be off. Seems like when you lift up this flap it turns it back on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay off. Ah. Don't know how to turn it off. It's doing something. Oh, Christ, off it goes. Yeah, it's just sparking all over the place there. Which is not really ideal. Probably wish I didn't do that. It does look to be maybe off now. I think it is. Go for that. Right. Stressful. Ah, of course. There's more here. All these little Torx screws, or are they Allen's? They are Torx heads. And I'm using a Torx 9, so it's probably actually a Torx 10 and I'm using the wrong one, but they're very, very gentle. These things shouldn't really be a problem. Might not have needed to take them out, but there's one there. There's one there. Maybe some more up here. Yeah, there's more up here, there's one. There's another one. In there. Sorry, it's ever so hard for me to show you exactly what I'm doing on this quite quickly. I mean, hopefully this outer case comes off. It does, look at that. Let's have that out. Another big shaped rubber piece. All its lovely stamps on there. And I think the battery itself might just pull out. It does. Okay, battery's out. There's its sort of cable relief cable tie, which I'm going to have to cut out. There it is, it loops through a little plastic piece on the frame there. The battery frame, should I say. Right, there's the outer shell off. And that's sort of the bit that sits it all in the bike. And then this is the actual battery pack itself. Not very big. Probably 30 cells in there, I'd imagine. Alright, let's adjust you a bit. So, this is the actual battery pack itself. There's the old, very damaged connector. There, it's not happy. Well, let's open it up and have a look. At least there's enough screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws, and you're in. Looks to be a fuse in this area here. I think that's what that is. Or something. No, I think it must detect when it's on the bike, perhaps. Some kind of sensors in there. Let's try and it's reattached to that side. We can get to what we want to get to. There's all sorts going on in here. Right, there's its little connector for this sensor here. 3 little cables going to it. We just want to push that down. And pull the connector out. No damage. That's what we like. That's a bit easier now, isn't it? Now we've got a lot going on. There's the connector there. Okay. There's another little, I think it's like a JST connector or something like that there. We can pull off. Gives us a bit more access. That's probably enough to do what we need to do. So in here you've got a PCB with little bullet connectors, which does, there's charge plus and charge minus, which are there. You've got the power button there, which just appears to be a momentary switch. I'm not going to press it again. These are our charge and discharge wires. Look how thin they are. Not charge and discharge. Discharge wires. They're, they're like, they feel quite solid, I must say, but they're, they're not very thick at all. Sort of. I don't know, 16 gauge or something, very thin. This would be its BMS here. We've got probably the MOSFETs underneath here, little battery to keep the whatever hell they've got charged up in there. Positive out. We've got balance wires up here, probably temp sensor here. And they're using, what cells are they using? They're using LG MJ1s. I recognise the label there. That's an MJ1 cell, which is great. So there'll be 30 of those to get their 10.5 amp hours. It's all, it looks very proprietary, but when you look at what actually connects to the bike, it's just this. So it's a little hard to say. What we want to do, for purposes of our repair, is remove these bullet connectors so that we can safely do this without power going to it. It's always wise. And it's just black to black. This one here goes off to the battery pack. This is probably the main power in from the BMS. It goes down to a nickel tab on this side. There's our positive out, negative out, which is that cable there. And there's our positive out. So now we'll be safe to work on this, repair this cable, which again is just 2 cores. What I'm probably going to do is splice in a new section here. So there will be 2 joins, but this is sort of a sealed waterproof part I don't want to mess with because it's just going to affect the sort of water resistance of it. And then there's this. There'll be 2 joins. Best option, otherwise we're going to lose some cable length, and I've got no idea if there's enough length. We'll put some hot glue underneath the heat shrink that we use. Then when we heat shrink it down, the hot glue will seal all of that together. It'll be quite a rigid connection. It won't be as flexible as any of this, but it is what it is. Then we'll probably wrap the entire thing in maybe cloth tape, like you use on a car wiring harness, or something just to make it sort of all look a bit neater. But yeah, great stuff.